folks, and welcome back to another video. And this week we are talking all about the Nintendo 3DS. And that is because I think this is a console that is on the precipice of becoming very, very expensive to collect for. But before that happens, here are 10 games you should buy now while they're cheap. Let's get into it.
Pick up! Rush Tricks!
As we all know, there is not much time left for the 3DS digital store, and it only makes sense that games are going to get more expensive. First thing you want to do is try and pick yourself up one of these consoles as soon as possible. I would recommend one of these new 3DSs because there is some games you can only play on this console. At the moment, these are not too expensive. You know, I put some prices and sold listings in this example down below, but these are going to get more expensive and more desirable. So pick one up now while you can. Now, onto the games. With this list today then, these are all games that I think you need to have in your 3DS collection, and no collection is complete without these 10 games. Also, some of these are games which I think are cheap now, but are going to rise in price over the next few years. So, let's get into the first of our 10 games. So the first game is of course Super Mario 3D Land. And this was the game that when it came out kind of gave people a reason to buy a 3DS. It was the first mainline Mario game on the 3DS, and it used the equipment so well. You know, you can play this game in 2D, but there is certain bits you have to play it in 3D, and it really makes it stand out. So, we may have Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U, but this game is slightly different, and the 3D sections of this game really use the 3DS's 3D really well. So yeah, this is about a £10 game at the minute, but it's an exclusive Mario game on the 3DS. It's only going to get more expensive. You can't talk about a Nintendo console without talking about Mario Kart. If you have a 3DS, you need to have Mario Kart in your collection, and Mario Kart 7 is a damn fine edition of Mario Kart. I'm not going to say it's like God tier Mario Kart. It's probably not in the top 3, definitely not in the top 3, maybe not even in the top 5 Mario Kart games of all time, but there's obviously going to be tracks that are exclusive to this version, and we all know Mario Karts go up in price over the years, some of them more than others, but if you have a 3DS, you need to have this Mario Kart in your collection, so grab it now while it's cheap. Free. That is right, free. That is how many Pilot Wings games Nintendo has given us. So, please make sure you pick this one up for the 3DS. It is super cheap. It is like £6 in CX. You get to fly 3 different vehicles, a plane, a rocket belt and a hang glider. So the plane may not be as cool as the gyrocopter from Pilot Wings 64, but you know, more people need to talk about Pilot Wings so we can get another game. Please Nintendo, more Pilot Wings. So buy this for the 3DS. Real talk time, Animal Crossing is not really my kind of thing. It's not kind of the level of game I'm looking for, but you know, as we found during lockdown, so many people found solace in just the chilled out relaxation that just kind of was whiling away hours in that game. So if you're looking for more of that, Animal Crossing New Leaf is a game you should pick up for the 3DS. The Animal Crossing games seem to go up in price so much. I think I picked this up about a year ago for about the £5 to £10 mark. This is going for about £20 now, and I think as more and more people kind of get to know Animal Crossing and it becomes more of a popular franchise, this one is definitely one that's only going to increase in price over the next few years. This next one is a bit of a wild card. It is Resident Evil Revelations for the 3DS, and there's a few reasons for this. Firstly, if you do not think that the 3DS can handle decent 3D graphics, this game will change your mind. It is such an atmospheric Resident Evil game, which I feel not enough people have played. It has, in my mind, some of the most memorable and terrifying bosses ever conceived in a Resident Evil game, and this one isn't very expensive at the moment. Of course you can play this on pretty much every console known to man at the minute, but I always think it's worth going back and playing this originally how it's intended in 3D on the 3DS.
Oh no, I think this creature might be the comms officer.
These days, I think a lot of video games companies make very, very safe games, but a game on the 3DS which you need to play because it is an experience is Tomodachi Life. This game is a trip. It is weird. Like, this trailer actually shows off pretty well how odd this game is. When I first played this, I had no idea what was going on. I still have no idea what is going on 95% of the time in this game. Essentially, you just put yourself and your friends, or just anyone, in as the kind of little me characters, and they will interact and go about their lives as such. But their lives are like a weird acid trip. This game is only on the 3DS, and you need to play it. It's a weird one. Trust me, it may sound a bit rubbish on the outset, but you just have to play it and experience it. One series of games that always get more expensive is the Zelda games. You can look back on all of the previous Nintendo consoles, Zelda games are a given. They will be expensive. And arguably, the greatest Zelda game of all time is the Ocarina of Time. And arguably again, I think this is the best way to play it. Yes, I've said it. I think this is better than the N64 version because there is small changes they have done to this game which just improve it a lot. And also, the 3D really adds to this game, and also the fact, you know, this is a game, it just looks so good on a smaller 3DS screen. I think this is probably the definitive way to play what is arguably the best Zelda and arguably one of the greatest games of all time, and you owe it to yourself to add this to your 3DS collection. That's right, Star Fox on 3DS. There isn't really much else I need to tell you about this game other than the fact, hand on heart, it is one of my favourite games of all time. Like, I literally play this game from start to finish 3 to 4 times a year, and this is one of my favourite ways to play it. You know, I will only really play this on the N64 or the 3DS, and the 3DS does pivot a little bit. I really think that the 3D visuals of this game do really improve upon it, but again, this is another Nintendo kind of game that we need another game, and the less said about Star Fox on the Wii U, the better. Certain games are absolutely built for handheld systems, and Warioware Gold is one of those games. If you have not played a Warioware game before, where have you been? Have you been living under a rock? These are short, sharp, quick mini games you play in rounds, and these are addictive little games. It is perfect for the 3DS, using kind of the microphone, the 3D controls, the touch controls, and this is a perfect example of games that were cheap a little while ago and are slowly picking up in price. As you can see from this one, it is still sealed. I picked this up in an Argos clearance for £5 brand new. That price has gone up a little bit now, and it's only going to go up more and more, so grab it now before the price rises. Of all the Nintendo franchises there is one franchise which gets more and more and more expensive every day, week, month and year, and that is of course Pokemon. And arguably the biggest Pokemon game for sale wise and kind of reach on the 3DS was Pokemon Moon. And the thing is about this one, it is still pretty cheap. You can pick up the base Pokemon Moon game and even Pokemon Sun fairly cheap. You know, they are good Pokemon games. They might not be the fondest remembered in years to come, but I managed to pick up this copy of Pokemon Moon, and it is the fan edition for just 30 quid. And the thing is with this, you also get a very cool steel case as well as the game. And what you might notice from this game is it is sealed. And you know what? I will be keeping this copy sealed because you can pick up a copy of this super cheap, but do it now. As we all know with Pokemon, they're only going to get more expensive, so grab it now and catch them while you can. So there we have it then. They are 10 games I feel like you need to pick up now for your 3DS before they get more expensive. It is a shame that we are kind of seeing the end of the 3DS now, and who really knows if Nintendo will ever do kind of the classic handheld console that have kind of moved on to the kind of hybrid version of the Switch. But it was an amazing console, and now is a great time to collect for it before it gets very expensive. I really hope this video has helped you out on your journey to building the perfect 3DS collection, especially on the cheap. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Please subscribe as I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, and I don't want you to miss any of those videos. Again, thanks for watching, and as always, keep playing the game. See y'all soon.